Hi, my name is Sandeep Vinod. I am a developer evangelist for Salesforce.com, and I want to show you a simple Android application that I built that supports push notifications from Force.com. With push notifications, you can basically notify users on their mobile devices every time that an event happens on their server side, in this case Force.com. Now both Android and iOS have their own sort of proprietary ways of enabling push notifications. As a mobile application developer, however, especially if you need to support both these platforms, instead of having to implement both these sort of proprietary ways of doing push notifications, what you can do instead is to use some sort of an intermediary service. Now there are many different companies that provide these sort of intermediary services. One of those companies is called Urban Airship, and that is the application or service that I'm using in this case. So the architecture is really simple. Is every time you want to send a push notification from Force.com, you basically send out a simple REST and JSON message from Force.com to Urban Airship, and Urban Airship then takes care of pushing that notification out to the individual Android mobile device, and you can even send it to iOS or BlackBerry devices. So let's see this application in action first, and then I'm going to walk through the steps for setting up the sample app in your own environment. So the use case for this application is pretty simple. It's a very simple case management application that I built in Android. So you can basically, once you log into Force.com on this Android device, in this case I'm showing this application on my Android emulator. So once you log into this application, you're shown a list of cases that are assigned to you, and you can also click on a case record and see some of the details for that case. So a very simple sort of case management Android application. Now for the push notification piece, basically every time that a new case is assigned to this user, that notification gets pushed out to this individual device, in this case this emulator, and then the user gets notified that a new case has been assigned to him or her. So let's see this in action first. Let me go into my Salesforce org here and create a new case and assign it to this user. So let's go ahead and create a new case. So as you can see, the case owner is Sandeep Vinod, which is me, and that is also the user that I've logged. That's also the same user that I've logged in to this sample Android application. All right, so let me go ahead and fill out some basic information here. Let's pick an account. Let's pick an origin, escalate it, and give a simple description. Sample push. Now before I create this case, let me pull up my Android application, and I want you to focus on this top end part of this emulator, because that's where the notification should show up when the new case is assigned to that user. So please pay attention to this top end of the emulator when I create this case. Let's save that, and you will see that a new case notification got sent out immediately to the emulator. And of course this doesn't work on an emulator, but on an actual Android device. If the user clicks on that notification, they will then be taken to the details for that specific case. And remember that the notification will show up on the Android device even if the application is not currently running for that user. Alright, so that's a pretty simple demo. Let's now walk through some of the simple steps that you need to take in order to install this sample app in your own Salesforce organization. So the first thing you need to do, as I mentioned earlier, this whole sample app is using Urban Airship as the intermediary. So the first thing you need to do is go to urbanairship.com and then sign up for a new, and it's a completely free account on Urban Airship. And the great thing about Urban Airship is not only is it free to sign up, but you can also send up to 1 million push notifications absolutely for free per month without having to pay anything. So that's great. So I've of course already signed up for Urban Airship. So in my case, when I click on sign up, I should be taken to my Urban Airship account. And you should see something very similar once you've signed up for Urban Airship. Now the next thing you need to do is create a new application in Urban Airship. So let me click on this apps button. And so you will need to create a new application, as I mentioned. You can name it anything you want. Let me just call it test app. Go ahead and select development mode, since this is all in development, and click the create your app button. Now once you create an app in Urban Airship, it's going to assign some unique keys to your application, and you're going to need these values in a bit. So once you've signed up in Urban Airship, the next thing you need to do is go over to your Salesforce org where you want this sample to be running, and then install an unmanaged application or unmanaged package rather, that I've created for this application in your org. Once you've installed that unmanaged package, you then go into setup, go to develop, and there is a specific custom setting that you need to update. When you click on your custom setting, look for something called push notification setting. Click on that, hit manage, and then go ahead and create a new custom setting. Again, the name is not important, you can name it anything you want, but for the key value, go over to your Urban Airship app that you created and copy and paste this application key value over to this custom setting. For the master key, again, go back to your Urban Airship application, and again, I won't do it now, but click on this link for the application master secret, copy that value, and then paste it over to the custom setting in Force.com. And that's all you need to do on the Force.com side. Now on the Android side, what you need to do first, of course, is Android is all based on Eclipse, Android development, so set up your Eclipse environment with the appropriate Android plugins. Once you've done that, you can simply import my sample application by going to File, Import, clicking on Existing Projects into Workspace. Next, just point to the directory where you downloaded the sample application and import that project into Eclipse. Again, I've already gone ahead and done that, and you will see something called an Android project called Android UA Push created in Eclipse. Next, what you have to do is go into the assets directory and click on this airship config.properties file, and then again copy and paste some values from your Urban Airship app. So back to my browser, copy and paste this application key over back in Eclipse, paste that value here, and then for the app secret, copy and paste this application secret value. Remember, that's important, is not the master secret, but rather the application secret is what you need to copy over from your Android or from your Urban Airship app over to your Android application. So once you copy and paste those two values, save this file, and then simply you can either run this application in the emulator as I have done, or you can actually attach a physical Android device to Eclipse and then run the sample app on an actual Android device. Thank you for listening, and hope you enjoy this sample app.